Well, hello everyone and happy Tuesday. It is digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four, the live stream where I talk about some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. Starting things off, yesterday Alabama A&M football announced that head coach Connell Manier will be relieved of his duties as head coach. And of course today I am joined with 48 sports director Carl Prather. Carl, I would say it was a rough year for this football program, both the season and also some personal loss mixed in there. Can you first just recap this past season for the Bulldogs?
Yeah, AJ, great to see you as always, and thanks for having me. It was, if you look back, it was a mixed bag on the field, and obviously for those that are not familiar with Alabama A&M's program, the football program here in North Alabama in Huntsville, a sad event occurred. A player within the organization, Medrick Burnett, tragically passed away after an injury sustained on the football field. So you're dealing with that and trying to navigate the end of the regular season, all while trying to end the year on a high note, but more importantly, end with a winning record. So that did not occur, but there was a lot of expectations, high expectations for this program coming into the year, AJ, and you were trying to see if they would ever fulfill those. I think kind of the rubber met the proverbial road at the Magic City Classic, their annual rivalry game, one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football, and especially at the historic black college and university level as well, between the Bulldogs and Alabama State. Unfortunately, Alabama State came away with the win, so Alabama A&M came on the short end of that contest. So that was their third straight loss to their in-state rival. That is a monster deal for a lot of people in our area, but more importantly, alumni of the Bulldogs program and within the university. So you navigate that and try to figure out a way to potentially find a way to have a winning record, all still while staying in the hunt of the Southwestern Athletic Conference Eastern Division race. And you turn around and you lose another game after that, and it kind of just basically ended all notions of them potentially reaching a SWAC championship game in the process. Credit to Coach Connell Manier at the time, was able to reel off 3 or 4 to end the year before ultimately falling to Florida A&M in their last game of the regular season last Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So I would just say, for the sake of argument, a mixed bag. A lot of promising expectations there that ultimately weren't fulfilled. And I think after 7 seasons, your university decided to move on in a different direction and start, as we like to say, anew within the Bulldogs program moving forward in 2025.
Right, certainly a lot of pride there in the stakes there to win the Magic City Classic, that is for sure, especially when you're playing your rivals there. Carl, do you have any thoughts on who could potentially replace Coach Manier? I know he was there at the helm for the Bulldogs for 7 seasons.
Yeah, I would love to throw out some names out there, but then it will come back to sports director at WAFF Carl Prather said that this person. So here's what I will say. Just my personal 2 cents, my opinion on the matter. I believe that Alabama A&M will look for a leader of the football program that can do 2 things. Number one, bring Alabama A&M to the upper echelon of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, meaning that they are competing and in the mix for SWAC championship game appearances, but more importantly, SWAC championships moving forward for many years to come. So what you may want to try to look for and envision, a leader of young men that can also be a leader of young men in the classroom, also model citizens out in the community, which I believe Connell Manier did as well. But at the end of the day, this is a production-based business. Wins and losses matter, and wins and losses matter when you're trying to compete for championships. So you may want to look for men that have a vision of or a history of winning and playing and competing at a high level. I think that's one aspect to it. But I think there's another aspect that I know Bulldog alums and fans of this program maybe want to look forward into in the future. You want to try to establish a head coach in his organization that can lead you to what I like to say, the forest from the trees in the world of college football as we know it. I think fans understand the name, image, and likeness and where that is put the college football landscape and college athletics as a whole on the front burner, as I like to say. So you need to find someone that will be able to embrace that, all while your organization, boosters, donors, fans of the program embrace it as well. And then, of course, more importantly, moving toward the future for any opportunities that may arise, whether it's member institution, the landscape of college football changing for programs, maybe moving, conference affiliations being changed. So there's a lot to put on the table, but I think the most important thing, obviously, the wins and losses matter, but you need to have a coach that can kind of have a vision for the future of where college athletics is currently and where it's going to go for the landscape of college athletics, as I like to say, 5 years from now.
That's right. And A&M had some really good players this year. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't all bad. We got to talk about big number 76, offensive lineman Carson Benson. He was the first HBCU player selected for this year's Reese's Senior Bowl. Carl, I hear this man can literally block a moving freight train. Is that true?
Yeah, listen, I don't know if he can do that, but guess what? I don't want to find out because I don't want him to block me. Carson's a big man and just a joy to be around him. It was really cool to be able to see his growth from last season to the off-season fall camp before you even played a football game during the 2024 season. Carson, literally you could hear him and his voice across the practice fields trying to lead his offensive line as well. Just a true leader. And you know that he has some special traits and qualities as a professional NFL prospect, because each and every practice it just seemed like there was a college or a professional scout, player of personnel, director of personnel within respective franchises in the National Football League in Normal, Alabama at practice. The Giants, the Browns, you name it, NFL team was always there in the fray during the week of practice leading up to game days on Saturdays. So he is going to get drafted. He is a very interesting, but more importantly, intriguing prospect in the landscape of where HBCU football is at. And I think it's a testament to Carson to be the first HBCU invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl. And I think that it is very important for him to go down to Mobile to showcase his skills as a left tackle and an anchor of an offensive line in the National Football League. I think he would do exceptionally well. And I think that he would be fortunate and, more importantly, blessed to be able to make some money playing the game that he loves at the next level when he hears his respective name called in April's NFL Draft.
Exciting stuff. You're definitely firing me up. It's making me think of my NFL team, and we could really use some help there, that is for sure, on our offensive line. But Vincent, along with 5 other Alabama A&M football players, were just selected today to the All-SWAC postseason teams. The other guy selected to the first team was, of course, the running back, Donovan Eaglin, who was just shy of 1,000 rushing yards this year. Talk a little bit about Donovan and his impact.
Yeah, that's a great thing to discuss regarding Donovan. You know, Donovan, for those that are not familiar with Alabama A&M football and their organization, Donovan was as we like to say, a Power 4 football player. And Power 4 means, in the landscape of college football, he was in one of the 4 largest conferences at the Football Bowl subdivision level. He played his football and had a full ride scholarship to East Lansing and Michigan State in the Big Ten before deciding to transfer to Alabama A&M. And he's been nothing short of awesome while he's been on the hill during his tenure. Really tough runner, runs underneath, as we like to say, his pads, just a downhill physical runner. But then, of course, off the field, just a cool guy to be around and an outstanding young man, student athlete within the organization for Alabama A&M. It's not a coincidence that he's been an all-SWAC performer each year that he's been within this league. He's been fantastic, an awesome job by him. And as you mentioned, he's one of those guys that, you know, defenses dreaded to try to tackle, not only in the first quarter, but as the game kind of waned and you got into the fourth quarter when you were trying to close out a game for Alabama A&M. So Donovan was outstanding, and it's a testament to Donovan. And then, of course, the linkage, as I like to say, with Carson being on the offensive line and leading his group of 5 there to help pave the way for Donovan. Just shy of 1,000 yards, but still an awesome year, awesome career for Donovan England and Carson Vincent, and along with the other young men that were able to make the first team and second team all SWAC teams. It's a testament to the roster of 85 young men or 85 or less young men there with Alabama A&M, and man, just how close they were to becoming a championship caliber program. Just couldn't get over the hump, but it's a testament to the type of players that they were able to have within the organization and what type of prospect can be brought here, signed here, developed, and evaluated. Meaning, it doesn't matter where you go, you can come to Alabama A&M and be successful and be able to have the eyes of the National Football League and beyond to recognize your work on the playing field.
That's right. Well, Carl, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much. And if you're watching at home right now, tomorrow Carl will come in again and we'll talk about the Mars Hill Bible Panthers gearing up for the state championship against Houston Academy. But Carl, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, AJ. Keep doing a great job. Listen, North Alabama, Tennessee Valley, keep watching Before the Four. AJ Wuest does a fantastic job. He did an amazing job for us during our high school football coverage throughout the year as well. Thumbs up, my man. Keep doing the good work.
Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And you as well. You keep doing the great work as well.
Thank you, my man.
Well, coming up after the break, we'll talk about the weather with 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis and also some of the day's top stories. You're just not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. I'll see you all in 1 minute. Well, hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, let's talk a little bit about that frigid weather outside. 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis is here with everything you need to know. Brad?
As expected, a cold, quiet day today. The wind hasn't been too bad. It's just been a chilly day. It feels more like February, but at least get some of you in the mood. Nothing on radar out there. Next 12 hours, big cool down tonight, but maybe not as cold for some of you. Definitely not as windy. We've got a clear sky and a calm wind. Expect some frost, and it could be rather thick out there tomorrow morning with morning lows around 25 degrees. We've got another cold air mass coming, but it's going to follow a front that's coming in tomorrow night into Thursday morning. It's looking less and less likely we'll see significant rainfall. Here's 6 o'clock in the morning. We wake up with the scattered frost. It becomes mostly cloudy by 11 o'clock in the morning. We're still going to warm up more than we did today because of that south wind. We're actually going to hit the low to mid 50s, so it won't feel too bad out there. It'll just be cloudy, I guess, and maybe your seasonal affective disorder will kick in. I know mine probably will with those clouds out there. And here's our chance of showers coming in about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. That's it. Very light rain showers on the southern fringes of the viewing area. Over the next 3 days, shower late tomorrow, then partly cloudy and cold. Thursday is going to be very similar to today, but we start off a little warmer in the upper 30s. And then the coldest day of the week will be Friday, at least Friday morning, low of 20. 43 Friday, but there are big changes ahead. The entire pattern is probably going to start changing as we head into next week. We'll be talking more about that coming up, but as far as rainfall chances, they're pretty slim tomorrow, but they start to come back late Sunday.
Well, thank you, Brad. And earlier this morning in Scottsboro, 5 boats were destroyed in a fire at the Goose Pond Marina. 3 of the boats sank. A woman who keeps a boat at the marina went outside to have coffee this morning, and when she saw the flames, she shouted to her husband to call 911. The husband also ran to a couple boats with 2 fire extinguishers. Other boaters jumped in and assisted. The general manager of the marina said those efforts helped contain things until firefighters were able to arrive. No injuries were reported, and it is still unclear what started the fire. And 48 Savannah Sapp will have more on this situation coming up in our evening newscasts. Now in Huntsville, Boeing's plan to lay off thousands of workers around the company will impact the local plant. Boeing earlier notified state officials that it will make 158 layoffs in the Rocket City. These layoffs will take effect on January 17th. Boeing plans to cut about 10% of its workforce through the cuts. Now, according to Boeing, eligible employees will receive severance pay, career transition services, and subsidized health care benefits up to 3 months after exiting the company. And now let's talk about a story, in case you missed it, from 48's Nick Ballinger. This year has been an extremely dry year here in the Tennessee Valley, and cattle farmers here are seeing the repercussions. Take a look.
Shane Southern's cattle farm in Lincoln County is usually quiet until his cows hear him start his feed truck. His cows know when they see his truck, it's time to eat. But after this year's drought, each ride in the truck for Southern means another day drained from his feed stock.
This year has been very, very tough.
Southern's corn suppliers only yielded a third compared to last year due to the drought. Less corn and seed means he had to tap into his hay supply a month early.
That was 60 to 90 rolls of hay that we didn't plan on feeding, that we had to feed.
Southern uses about 350 rolls per year, 1 roll a day on each field, and at $70 a roll, that hits his income hard, but not as hard as the alternative.
Could cost $75, $80 a roll, or sell your cattle. That's your only 2 options.
This game of supply and demand can end up with you losing at the grocery store.
And if the mamas ain't eating what they need to supplement their body, then they're not passing on their calves. Well, if their calves don't get it, then their calves don't grow. So when it comes to market time, they don't benefit from that. If they don't eat, they don't grow.
Lawmakers are pushing to sign a new farm bill that could bring relief to struggling farmers. The 2018 Farm Bill expired at the end of September, and a new one must be passed by December 20th. But until that happens, Southern is just left to hope that his cows continue to see his feed truck throughout the winter.
All you can do is just hope and pray to the good Lord that we bought enough to get us through the hard times.
Well, thank you, Nick. And staying in the Shoals, new juvenile beds are coming to the psychiatric unit of North Alabama Shoals Hospital. A new program the hospital is instilling will provide specialized psychiatric care for adolescents. It will also increase access to adult psychiatric services in the region with new beds added to the unit. 48's Aria Pons has the latest on this development.
North Alabama Shoals Hospital was just approved by the state to add new beds to their psychiatric units. Not only will they be able to help more people in need, they're also creating a brand new unit just for juveniles, the first like it in the Shoals area.
We've seen a steady increase year over year in needs, and all the more reason why we have pursued this project.
Shoals Hospital Chief Operating Officer Braxton Holloway says this will be only the second juvenile psychiatry unit like it in North Alabama. The other one is over an hour away in Decatur. When that one's full, they could have to send patients as far as Mobile.
It'll have a very meaningful impact because they won't have to travel. So right now, that family that I talked about a minute ago having to go all the way to Mobile for services outside of Colbert County and the Muscle Shoals area, that's quite the distance to travel to have a loved one, especially a child, in a unit.
Holloway says about 40% of the hospital's admissions are for the behavioral health unit. He says with the mental health crisis all over, there are just never enough beds, so this addition is much needed.
I hope that more will consider it for sure, because the need is great and there's still not enough beds, even with us putting forward an additional 24 beds when it's all said and done. That still will fill those up immediately.
They will add 8 adult beds on top of the 16 beds they'll get for the new juvenile unit. Once the project gets started, Holloway says it should only take about 9 to 12 months to complete the process, and each unit will remain open and operational as they go through the renovations. Reporting in Muscle Shoals, Ari Hans, 48 on your side.
Well, thank you, Aria. Now in a little state news from 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy, scammers have been stealing people's EBT SNAP benefits here in the Yellowhammer State for the past several months. And the Alabama Department of Human Resources said thousands of people across the state have lost millions of dollars. The DHR said these thefts stem from a larger issue that is happening at a national level. Now, according to the Alabama DHR, criminals are using a variety of methods to steal people's personal information, which gives them the data they need to drain people's EBT benefits. Earlier today, Sarah Grace Kennedy spoke with one Huntsville native who said her account was one of them. Take a listen to Donna Miller.
All I know is they smart about it. They know how to do it, and I'm like, you know, it's just taken away from other people that really needs them, you know, that can't afford to get out here and get food, and if that's their only means of them putting food on the table, I just get discouraged, I get mad. Sometimes I don't even really what you call sleep, because you know, thinking about it, and the more I think about it, the madder I get. But like they said, you know, there's nothing we can do about it.
Now some exciting news for the city of Guntersville. Industrial expansion is coming to Connors Island Business Park, and soon electrical connectors will be made in Guntersville for some of the nation's biggest manufacturers. 48 Savannah Sapp with the story.
This is big news for Guntersville, and this is a big deal.
Big industrial news for the city of Guntersville. Manufacturer JST, or Japan Solderless Terminals, is expanding its footprint. Leaders presented plans for a new facility to the city council on Monday, where electrical connectors like these will be made for some of the nation's biggest manufacturers.
Whirlpool, Electrolux, GE, GM, Ford, Tesla.
JST Division Manager Philip Mosley says this new facility will have a lasting impact on the city. Not only will the expansion increase production in the area, it will also help boost the local economy by creating 80 jobs upon opening.
And really good paying jobs, especially for when you're talking an automated factory, you're talking software engineering, programming, technicians.
But it will also be something that the public can enjoy simultaneously. Mosley says when his boss was viewing the land for potential purchase, he wanted to preserve its natural beauty.
Not only does he want to put this facility there, he wants to have some area of this property open to the public. He's going to have nature trails, he's going to have walking trails.
Guntersville leaders are welcoming the expansion.
This will be a phenomenal facility. I've seen some preliminary renderings, and it's like nothing y'all have ever seen before. It's really going to be something the community can be proud of.
And Philip Mosley says the expansion is expected to be complete by the year 2028. Reporting in Guntersville, Savannah Sapp, 48 News, on your side.
Some exciting stuff. Thank you, Savannah. Now, if you're feeling merry and bright this Christmas and you're looking for a parade to go to further elevate that Christmas feeling, the annual Athens Limestone County Christmas Parade is coming back to downtown Athens this Thursday. And this year, over 160 are expected to participate in the parade itself. The parade begins Thursday at 6 p.m. And today I spoke with Holly Holman with the City of Athens on the Christmas parade. And take a listen.
Reached out to the chamber this morning, and right now we have 163 entries.
Wow. That is certainly a lot. And around how long, like you said it starts at 6, around how long will the parade last with that many floats?
It can be a couple hours. You know, every marching band in the county is in the parade. And of course we have Santa, then you have all the floats and vintage vehicles. And if you go to an Athens parade, you know a train or 2 or 3 is going to interrupt the parade, and you have to wait for the train to go through. So it could be a 2-hour parade. And a lot of people tailgate. They have their favorite spots to watch the parade, and they'll park early that morning and have somebody pick them up and take them to work so that they can claim their favorite tailgating spot for the parade.
Awesome. Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned the train. The train's kind of participating in the parade itself.
Yeah, and people have asked us, can you not just get them to stop? But, you know, CSX has a nationwide schedule, and we can't get them to stop their entire nationwide schedule for our parade. So it's just something we've become used to, and we wait for the gap and for people to catch up, and it's kind of part of what makes it a quirky Athens parade.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to embrace it, that's for sure. Out of all the years helping put on the Christmas parade, what's been a memory that has really stuck out to you?
Every year is different, but I think just the tradition of getting together here at City Hall, a lot of times we'll order pizza and the employees will have dinner before the parade. And, you know, we always sit up here in front of City Hall to watch it and just being with everyone. I think the tailgating is what makes it so fun. I like to walk around and you see people you know, and then you meet some new people who've come to town and maybe this is their first parade. It's really a community event, and I think that's what makes it so special.
Yes, awesome interview with Holly Holman there with the City of Athens. A lot of awesome Christmas parades going on. I know tonight the one in Huntsville is going on, and then of course Thursday, the Athens Limestone Parade. So you're just not going to want to miss it, that's for sure. And you can watch that full 48 Now interview on our website right now at WAFF.com. Now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. A Grissom cross-country runner who was tragically hit by a car back in October. Speaking to 48's Noel Cowell coming up. Another story you're just not going to want to miss, the latest on the annual Special Olympics bowling tournament. Get that story. And finally, a local pharmacy here in North Alabama suing over PBM issues. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. And I think it's just about that time. What time is it? It is, of course, time for Facebook fun. I was eating some pizza last night and I said, you know, I need some good pizza here in the Tennessee Valley. So that was today's 48 Facebook question of the day. Which Tennessee Valley restaurant serves the best pizza? And I'm excited. I need these recommendations, that's for sure. Fonda said Huntsville's only pizza place, Big Ed's. Second best is Mazza Pizza on Jordan Lane. Both of those were extremely popular answers today, so I will be checking that out, that is for sure. Johnny Wilson said Rising Crust in Florence. We'll have to head out to the Shoals and check that place out as well. And then Gwendolyn said Valentina's, hands down. So those are three options, and I will be checking those out, that is for sure. But thank you all for commenting on Facebook Fun today. That is just about all the time I have in today's Before the Four. But of course, as always, I have to thank you for watching. You all have a great night.